Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X. It is July 12th, 2020. Well, I'm going to wait a few minutes to let everybody get their notifications. But anyways, apparently there's all of these videos going on YouTube now with Mr. BP Earthwatch over at his YouTube channel. I don't know, guys. He's claiming that my people and me attacked him about some of his videos. And to be frankly, I haven't watched a BP Earthwatch video in probably, I don't know, since last hurricane season. And none of my people, my so-called people, went to his YouTube channel and attacked him. I went and checked his last couple of Nibiru videos, and I saw one reference to me, but no comments from me, no comments from my people. And so I don't know what the hell the guy's talking about. You know, maybe he's got water in his ears. I have no idea, but I didn't attack him. I don't have time for that crap. But anyways, he's making these videos now that, oh, all of the Planet X news information and videos, oh, they're faked, oh, they're doctored, oh, they're photoshopped. I don't know, guys. If you missed my last short premiere, it was about 20 minutes long. Just uploaded it maybe a little more than an hour ago. Oh my God, I don't know. If you haven't seen that 18-minute video or whatever it is, after you're done watching this live stream, you could shoot over there to that video and check it out. That was the first that I heard about this Mr. BP Earthwatch crap. You know, here's the deal, folks. People use my name and my YouTube channel and my images every single minute of every single day. That's been going on since 2016. I've had, I don't know how many YouTube channels use my name to bolster their channel. When they're failing for views, or, you know, they steal my images, they claim them as their own. That dude over there at some Planet X channel, Alex Lujan, he steals my images every single week. He just got hit with a copyright strike from me from stealing my images, and they removed his video. So people ask me all the time, and they make the comment, oh, you're not allowed to copyright those images, blah, 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 blah. Well, I've answered that 150,000 times. The government cannot copyright things like that, like NASA. Nothing of NASA's is able to be copywritten. However, images from space that are captured on public access cameras, such as stereo, SETI, the SDO, blah, blah, blah. Once you screenshot those images, and whether you tweak them, you add some difference to the photographs or video, those images, such as mine, can be copyrighted. It's in the law, man. Read it. Don't shoot your mouth off with dumbass comments that aren't true. Period. So in 2016, I applied for a copyright license, and it took about 6 months to get. At the end of 2016, going into 2017, I got my copyright license. So anything that has my name on it or Planet X News is my copyright. As long as I obtained it, it is mine. Mine. You know, furthermore, folks, I spent 22 years dealing with copyright law in my career. Hello. Yes, you know, people are making comments in under his videos that, you know, they're all fake, blah, 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 blah. I've mentioned to all of you software that I've obtained over the years. I've tried so many different things to try to unmask what NASA is hiding. We're also dealing with a lot of technology, such as a coronagraph. Now, in Mr. BP Earthwatch's video, he doesn't go into showing you or telling you how a coronagraph works. He shows you that he calls it, well, one of my images, he calls it a space bubble coming from the sun, a bubble of plasma. And he also doesn't tell you how a coronagraph works. He doesn't tell you or even show you that you're not watching that coronagraph video in real time. You're watching frames. You're not actually watching a video. You know, like, brrr, you know, I'm filming you. See, NASA gets that direct feed. Public access, we get frames that are taken every 12, 16, 18 minutes, 24 minutes. Hey, they delete time all the time. Large sections of it. It usually runs in about 8 to 12 hour increments, sections, sometimes 4 hours. But they delete that. And those are deleted frames. That's another thing that Jesse Boy didn't bother to tell you in his short little video because he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And he's trying to use my name, my channel name, to bolster his stupid, ridiculous Nibiru videos. Part 1, 2, and 3. So this is part 2 of stuffing it to Mr. BP Earthwatch. You know, and I got to admit, a man who I used to respect, and I'll still watch his videos during hurricane season. Don't worry about that there, Jess. I'll give you my views. But Mr. BP, you know, I remember back in 2017 and 2018, you making videos about my images. Incredible capture by Planet X News. This is definitely Nibiru. But now all of a sudden, because people are busting your balls about your fake Nibiru Jupiter videos, you're getting your balls busted. So you want to use my channel name and my channel photographs to bolster your views. Listen, buddy, get in line. People have been doing that to me for almost 5 years now. I'm used to it. Now, let's get down to a lot of things that you probably know that you left out of your video. So, folks, the way that these coronagraphs work, again, we are seeing frames that are put together in a time increment. So he claims that, oh yeah, he stops the video right at the point of the plasma ball. Well, if you take a look at the timestamps, look how long between the frames that the plasma ball stayed there. Look where it came from. See, if we had the actual file footage that came from the spacecraft from NASA, we would see that in video format. But we're not seeing it in video format. We're seeing frames that are put together to make the coronagraph videos. On everything, on the SDO is the same thing. You're seeing frames. Soho and Lasco, Stereo Core 2, and Sechi, we don't have anymore. All of that is frames. They're frames. They're not video. Now, as far as doctoring the photographs, look, folks, like I said, watch my latest premiere video. It was about an hour ago. I show you one of the techniques, and I show you clear as a bell that what BP said was a complete lie. The guy's just using my name to get some YouTube videos. He's asking everybody to unsubscribe from my channel, blah, blah, blah. But yet, the biggest scammer on YouTube, Pastor Paul Begley, is his best friend. And they both crush people by using their religions against them to make money. I mean, I think, how much gold is Pastor Paul selling now every day on YouTube? Give me a break. I ain't selling shit but a few t-shirts down below, and that was a YouTube thing. But anyways, people ask me constantly about the software, and look, I'll go into it real quick. That I mentioned all of this on my last premiere video. So many years ago, I was studying how coronagraphs work. What Mr. BP didn't tell you is these coronagraphs, C2, C3, if you go Google it, Google how does a coronagraph work, go into depth. It may take you a few days to learn about these telescopic cameras, where they're positioned, how they work, and what they view. Now, they're viewing in extreme ultraviolet light in different levels, C2, C3. One's red, one's blue. See, BP left out all of that. Just like he left out all of the frames and how the cameras work. Maybe he knows about it, maybe he doesn't. I used to think he was an intelligent man. I still think he is. But I still think he's looking for some views. Anyways, getting back to the programming. One of the best ways to analyze these coronagraph images, and I've worked on this for a couple of years, since about mid-2017. I have a really good friend of mine I went to high school with. We went to the same Votech school, and I was in computer-aided drafting and design, and he was in the photography. And we're still best friends to this day, and the guy has an absolutely phenomenal photography studio, 35 years under his belt. He has very, very good software, has a great studio, and the kicker is his daughter was going to college at the time to be a forensic investigator. She was studying forensics, for crime, law enforcement. And she also had a knack for photography, just like her dad, blah, 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 blah. So I've mentioned him, I don't know, hundreds of times. And she did get a great job, and she is not a forensic photographer that goes out to crime scenes and takes pictures of chopped up dead bodies. No. She works in a forensic photography lab. Yeah. And maybe you guys have watched a few episodes of a crime drama, what the hell's the name of that? Those CSI, whatever, CSI Miami, whatever. And, technology in uncovering things in video and photographs, well, that's part of police work. So that's what she's been doing for a couple of years now. And she was watching her dad look at some of my photographs from these coronagraphs. And this is going back, late 2017, going into 2018. I'm just trying to give you guys a little timeline on how I made some of these discoveries and how I was able to see and uncover what NASA's hiding. It's that damn simple. But anyways, she said to her dad, "Can you email me a few of those photographs to my work email?" Now, she works for a top law enforcement agency. I'm not going to mention it because I don't want the freaking troll babies. Well, that'd be a mistake to troll her. You'll end up in jail. But anyways, her dad emailed her some of the photographs, and we were having trouble getting through some of the interference on the coronagraphs on Seeds, another website for coronagraph usage. And We'll go over. I'll show you some of this. But anyways, she took these photographs and she used some of the software that she uses to uncover crime in these videos and photographs that she receives. And she emailed the results back to her dad, and he called me literally in the middle of the night. And he said, you better go to your email and check it right now. My daughter sent those photographs back. You're not going to believe what she uncovered. Well, boom! There it was, folks. It all started from there. So just because BP Earthwatch and the troll babies out there trying to debunk these photographs, just because they don't have the intelligence and the know-how and the software, the freaking tools, doesn't mean they're right. Now, anybody can use my name and my channel name and put it in their title and say fake, debunking. But listen, these debunkers, they get maybe 30, 40 views on their videos. They don't bother me. But, if BP Earth wants, if he wants to use my name to bolster his Nibiru videos and then call me a fake, after years ago using my images to bolster more of his videos before his channel got deleted, hey, I think you crossed the line, boy. Anyways, let's check some stuff out. So yeah, he's trying to get his share. Anyways, so let's talk about video and photograph crime scene technology and forensics. Okay, well, it's come a long, long way over the years. Say, for instance, someone is caught on a CCTV video camera, which doesn't have very good high, quality, and, and a crime's committed in front of that camera. And maybe the camera, for some reason, had some kind of interference going on. And a crime was committed, and the police are now using that video to try to get a clearer picture of the assailant. But they can't. They could zoom in, but they can't get a clear picture. So that's another thing BP didn't tell you. He doesn't know what software I use. He doesn't know the techniques that I use. He's like, oh, he just added some filters and reversed it into a negative and did this and did that. And it's a space ball or a space bubble. Now that was his excuse. Go unsubscribe from Planet X News. That's Pastor Paul Begley's best friend talking. The people that scam you out of money because you believe in Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's who they are. Yeah, and I'll attack your faith because you've attacked me. So, whatever. So anyways, myself and Bobby and his daughter sat down, and some of the software back then was not available to just anybody. You had to be a law enforcement agency or CIA, FBI, whatever. So anyways, both of these folks helped me out for quite a while. Some of the software that's out there now, over the past 2 years, 3 years, it's expensive. Very expensive. I'm not going to say too much more about how I acquired the software because I actually have several different ones. And when used in combination, in combination, you could use the power of knowledge and intelligence to uncover what's being hidden from you. Now, If you want to knock me for being smart and being tenacious, maybe you're just plain jealous. But like I've said before, folks, there's no fame and glory in any of this. It's more of a pain in the ass than anything. Because you see, you get dragged and kicked in the teeth and thrown under the rug and under the bus, and they make up stories about you. It's just like being a rock star or a movie star, you know? Anyways, one of the leading companies, Amped Software, and again, you know, I doubt very highly if any of you are going to bother to try to buy it or even afford it. Empowering investigators, detectives, frontline officers, first-line responders to conduct a first-level analysis of their video evidence and also photographic evidence. And there are many, many different styles of their software. Trying to draw something out of an old CCTV surveillance camera is a lot harder. You'll have interferences, just as we see on some of these coronagraphs. Once again, taking into consideration the LASCO C2, C3 coronagraphs, the red one and the blue one, see, you're viewing that in an extreme ultraviolet light. That's what the camera on the spacecraft is set up to see. Okay? NASA does have the ability to add interference, but interference does occur naturally from the heavily charged particles smashing into the detectors on these spacecraft. It's a good thing that these spacecraft are not closer to the sun than they actually are, because they would probably be destroyed. Because the technology back then, when they were put into space, isn't like it is now, where NASA can send the Parker space probe to kiss the sun. Anywho, I've been using technology and learning about technology over the last couple of years. I've actually paid for online training how to use the damn software for what little I need it for. You know, it was a little bit of a heavy price to pay financially, but, you know, I am... I'm not a quitter. I knew something was there based on old evidence. It was just a matter of bringing it to the forefront. Now, this company, they do have a video, okay? We'll take a look at the video on their website right here. And just check it out. I had to mute the sound, folks, because there's music playing in the background, and I don't want any type of, copyright infringement. But, the video clearly shows you, it's a demonstration video of what some of this software can do, what it's used for. And, again, primarily in law enforcement. That's basically what the technology was brought up to be. You can see here, just in this still frame from their video, license plate captured on CCTV, kind of blurry when you zoom in, blah, 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 blah. Well, the technology's there. I'm using it. Oh, so what? Are you jealous that you didn't think of it? I mean, anybody can say an image is fake until you can prove it. Period. So you can believe whatever you want to believe. You can unsubscribe, but I know you'll be back tomorrow because you just can't help yourself. But anyways, folks, some of the technology that I use is what law enforcement uses. Simple as that. Alrighty, let's get out of here. And let's just check something out here real quick. And we will go from here. So, oops. So normally, you can grab a still shot from one of the coronagraphs. Now, you'll get a ton of static interference from the stereo images, and when you are trying to view these coronal mass ejections that are now constantly occurring nonstop in a solar minimum. That's another thing Mr. Earthwatch forgot to clue you in on. But anyway, again, these are just frames. They're not videos. They are frames put together to make a video in time lapse. So an object is not going to be in the same position 18, 20 minutes, an hour later, is it? Because everything in space is constantly moving. So some of the techniques that weren't available a long time ago are now available, and you have to be able to remove that interference so you can see what is truly in the background. Now, that is the same way that a coronagraph works. That's why on the red C2, the red C3, that's why you can see background stars. And on the old Secchi program, you were able to click on a button when looking at a short video clip, and you were able to remove the background stars completely. So that tells you right off the bat that going all the way back to when those spacecraft were launched and the software was developed for NASA to view it, that means they had the ability to remove or add the background. Aha! Mr. BP Earthwatch is not sounding so damn smart now, is he? He's actually sounding like a little crying bitch. Anywho, so you catch a screenshot. Maybe you see something in that coronal mass ejection. Maybe you see the dreaded BP space bubble that just popped out of the sun. Yeah, a space bubble. Now, not denying that plasma ejections spew from the sun, but they don't produce space bubbles. If you want to go buy, you want to go play with bubbles, go buy some bubbles. If you're too cheap to buy them, like the software that I use, then mix a little bit of Dawn dish liquid and water in a jar and blow your bubbles, BP. Anyways, so you catch one of these images and you definitely think that something's there. You have to start to peel back the layers that are in the photograph. Now, that is something that two of the softwares that I use, that's what they can do. Also, before you even do any of that, before you even upload those photographs or that video into those programs, I convert everything, and that was the instruction that I was given. Make sure you convert everything over or upgrade it to ultra high definition 4K. Now, that's one of the reasons why my images are so clear. That is also one of the reasons why I am able to zoom in and show you folks up close without any pixelization. Well, hell, Jesse, Mr. BP, why didn't you talk about that in your video with your folks over there at the Real BP Earthwatch? Why didn't you give them all of the details? Seriously, man. You know? Anyhow, anywho, and anyway, so when you convert these photographs to a much, much higher definition, your ability to zoom in without it blurring is working in your favor. Hello. Then you can upload the photos or the videos to these programs, and then you could start gradually peeling back the layers. Now, this has nothing to do with using filters like you see on these Microsoft apps and things of that nature, and Photoshop and blah. See, I don't even own Photoshop, by the way, but Photoshop doesn't even have those abilities. If Photoshop did have those abilities, it would cost thousands of dollars, and it wouldn't be called Photoshop anymore, would it? And you wouldn't have access to it, would it? Would you? Yeah, that's what I thought. So after you are able to start to clear off the interference and peel back the layers, then you have to understand what the coronagraph is seeing and what mechanism in the coronagraph it's using. So the level of viewing in the C2 coronagraph, seeing extreme ultraviolet light, I don't know the exact setting, but that's why it's in red. And then the C3 has a much more further view, and it's seeing the coronal mass ejection in a different form or level of extreme ultraviolet light. Now, it is very easy to increase that spectrum and show nothing at all. Wow. Now, why didn't BP tell his people that? Damn him anyways. Anywho, so let's get back to this. I'm babbling on about what's his face. So this is what we see sometimes when we catch a frame. Okay? So as we slowly peel back those layers, if we happen to see something or we suspect that we may have a sighting, we'll go through the process. It takes a while. It's not something that I could just upload the photograph and say, whoop-de-damn-do, it's there. So as we start to take some of the opacity and remove those layers, things start to show up. Yeah. And if you happen to take a really close look at what the photograph originally looked like when it came from the coronagraph. There you can see how you can easily be deceived. Plus, the frames are playing in a video player at a high rate of speed. Now, I always slow it down. I slow it down all the way to the first setting. That way I can see each and every frame. Normally, if I see something that looks odd, I will download the video. I have another sophisticated, expensive movie-making software video program. And hell, you can make, ABC Sunday night movies with this program. Anyways, I'll put the video in there, and then I'll convert it to ultra high definition 4K. It helps out quite a bit. And then I will sit there and I will go frame by frame. Now, I also increase the frame rate. So that's something Mr. BP didn't tell you. He didn't talk anything about frame rates, did he? Maybe he doesn't know anything about it. But anyways, once you increase the frame rate, you have a better chance of catching a clearer, crisper view of what you're searching for. So the square box that you see with all of the crazy looking pixels, that is a super magnified version of what you would see in the masked picture from the coronagraph. When you remove those layers, well, you can see what the hell is there. You see this object right there? You can barely see the perfectly circular outline deep within those artificial pixels. Those are artificial pixels. Those are pixels meant for masking. Like whenever you pixelate someone's face in a video to protect their identity. Aha! Mr. BP and the troll babies, they don't tell you anything about that, do they? Yeah, because they didn't do their homework. I've done years and years, 20 years of my life invested in all of this and learning. Yeah. Do you think I could find something better to do? Yeah. So again, let's move up to this one here. And this was an incredible shot from July 10th. Two. Yeah, I agree. It's mentally, it's hard to deal with. Yeah, do you believe it? No, you don't believe it. Well, that's your prerogative. Okay. You can clearly see for years what I've been showing you what's happening in space. Our sun has been acting crazy. We're in a solar minimum, and now we are continually having large coronal mass ejections. It's actually been happening through the whole entire cycle. So, people ask me all the time, oh, you shouldn't have to defend yourself. Well, listen, this is the boob tube, man. You have to defend yourself. I mean, that guy's over there, on his YouTube channel. Oh, you should unsubscribe and come over here and subscribe to BP Earthwatch. Well, I sit here and tell you Jupiter is Nibiru. Oh, shit. So, you could take that, and this is what I spotted right up here. That's what I spotted. So, I mean, anybody with a half of a trained eye can say, hey, wait a minute. That looks a little spherical. What the hell is that? Oh, wait a minute. It's a plasma ball that shot out of the sun like a cue ball. Yeah, buddy, I don't think so. And the further I analyzed the photograph, I saw what seemed to be a small circle of pixels. See, folks, once again, I don't know, maybe BP Earthwatch should go do some studying for a few years and, learn about some of these technical and digital things. But anyways, pixels are square. Pixels can't form a circle, a sphere. They can't. Period. Pixels are little one-dimensional objects, where a sphere, not a circle, a sphere is a three-dimensional object. So no matter how hard you try to pixelize it or interfere with it, you're always going to see somewhat of a distinction of the sphere or sphere. Is that making sense, Jesse? BP, hey, clean that water out of your ears. You've been down there at that COVID-19 beach down in Florida too much. What'd you do, fall off your freaking boat? Blah, 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 blah. I don't know, folks. Yeah, somebody just made a good point there. My buddy Rock Davis over there, he said in the live chat, don't show everybody, and I haven't shown anybody the softwares that I use and the techniques that I used, because people will probably use it for the wrong reasons. NASA, once again, will see how I am busting their balls, and then we're going to stop getting feeds like they took all of the good access to Lasco and Soho's coronagraphs. They took that off of us. We have limited ability to use it. And they completely took out the SECI public access program. And, over the years, a lot of the universities that I've used that have very, very good space weather programs and websites, I've used access, the university and colleges access to gather more intel and information and evidence. But you didn't tell everybody that, did you, BP? You just made up a damn story that you were being attacked by me and my followers, which is a complete lie. I never attacked you. I don't even watch your videos. Anyhow, let's check some stuff out here. Over the last couple of days, some pretty good stuff's been coming out. Where am I here? This photograph I caught on July 9th. And I found this to be pretty amazing. The original photograph was a little sketchy. It didn't take much to clear it up. Now, I want you to pay very close attention to how crisp and clean the photograph looks. It's not a doctored image. It's not a fake image. I did have to put a little copyright logo in there because over the last few weeks, people have been stealing the living shit out of my images and calling it Nibiru and making all kind of crazy videos about Nibiru crashing into the Earth in 3 days. Yeah. So I don't like that, because that's not true. Hold on one second. My buddy Bob, he's actually watching my live stream right now. He's like, please don't tell them the name of my studio or my last name. Oh, shit. 1 second. Let me reassure him that I didn't give his name and the name of his photography studio. That's funny. Funny. Yeah, anyways, back to this picture here. So, again, a lot of coronal mass ejections, like clockwork, during this solar minimum. It's not rare, but the amount of them, the magnitude, the strength. And here's something else. The coronal mass ejections coincide with and coordinate with the 28-day orbit of this object. Something that's now confusing the living hell out of me is we've never seen the whole system, if it exists. We've never seen much of anything other than, one good shot here, one good shot there. Now, I did tell Mark over at Wages World back in January, I said, look, with the software that I have now and me knowing more about it, going into the months of June, July, August, and September, the Earth is in a different position naturally with the sun. During that 4-month period, we may be able to get some of the most breathtaking photographic evidence ever within this 4-month period. Well, bingo, lo and behold, go back and look at my videos. So I don't know if the sun is drawing more objects into the inner solar system, by crushing these objects and pulling them in with their gravity, but the objects are powerful themselves. They have very strong magnetic fields, just like the sun. So it would be very easy if you study the dynamics of stars and planets, what happens when, planets start to get drawn in by a star. And as long as they are in a motion like an orbit, they will stay and maintain that orbit. And they will get as close as they can get, and that will stay their orbit. Just like the Earth. Just like Nibiru Jupiter that BP claims. So let's take a closer look at this. We could zoom in. And whenever this photograph came back, this still shot, I said to myself, holy hell, once again, we've never seen these smaller spherical objects before. Maybe a dot here, dot there, but we didn't know what the hell it was. I think now we're starting to understand that either we're getting another view, which we are, as we orbit around the sun, or there are more incoming objects as we travel through space, through the galaxy, the arm of the galaxy that our little teeny tiny solar system lives in. I mean, that's how space works. So my question is, has the sun drawn in more? Where the hell are they coming from? Are they invading our solar system, or is our solar system invading them? So that's something that only government scientists will know for a fact. All we can do is pretty much speculate. So let's jump out of this one. I wanted to go to the bigger version. So this is zoomed in, and again, these are all ultra high definition 4K, so we can zoom into them, and let's just do that. So I don't see where Photoshop comes into play. To create an image like that without it actually being real, I don't know. Looks pretty goddamn hard to do. I mean, I couldn't do it because I don't have that type of talent, nor do I have that type of software. People have asked me, oh, why don't you show timestamps? What the hell are you talking about? There's timestamps on every photograph I show. I show you the original. I show you a blown up version, 50%, 100%, and another one called close up in your face. So what the hell are you people talking about? So we're zoomed in about 50% on this 4K photograph. I see what looks to be not perfectly spherical object right here, and one that is perfectly spherical here, and this large monster right here. It is enveloped with the coronal mass ejection, not around it, but behind it. See, this object was passing by. It pulled the plasma from the sun to create the coronal mass ejection, which it left in its wake. Huh. BP didn't tell you about that, did he? I've said this before. Without the coronal mass ejections, we may never have detected this damn thing. The coronal mass ejections, the explosions, are equivalent to like 1 trillion atomic bombs. That's how massive they are. Spewing out trillions and billions of tons of hot plasma. So if you have this spewing mountain of plasma pouring out of the sun, and a spherical object passes through it, what do you think is going to happen? The plasma is going to take the shape of that object momentarily for a short time as it passes through. It's almost like shining a spotlight on it for a brief minute. And then we hope and pray that we get that image on the coronagraph in the form of a frame. Not video, a frame. Because once again, the coronagraphs are not videos. They are frames in timestamps. Understand that. If we go to the next timestamp, the object isn't there. Why? Because it is traveling at a high rate of speed. The plasma ejection may possibly push it out of its orbit slightly, ever so slightly, but it regains itself right back into its normal orbit. I don't know if that happens, but it may. So let's go and let's get to the next frame that is completely zoomed in, ultra high definition, 4K in your face. Yeah, and people keep making the comments, oh yeah, he's arrogant. No, folks, I'm not arrogant. I'm just allergic to bullshit. So we have the same image. This is, we're able to zoom in 100% on this image. Let's take a look, see if it was doctored. Okay, so that's as far as we can go. Now, once again, it is not highly pixelized. It is crisp. It is clean. It is in your face. And you can't deny it. And if you do deny it by simply saying that it was photoshopped, faked, or doctored. You don't only have a screw loose, you've got some bolts missing. So BP, maybe you need to go down on the dock where your boat's at and check down on the dock, see if you lost a few nuts and bolts. See if Pastor Paul will lend you some of that gold money and you could buy yourself some of the sophisticated software that I bought. And then you could pay for the online training, which takes 6 weeks at different intervals. So you take your old ass and you do that, and in about 2 years from now, you come knocking on my door, maybe we can talk. And I can guarantee you, you'll be singing a new tune with your band. Oh, shit. That was funny. Anyways, this was something that I do also. So not only do I catch the same damn object on one coronagraph, but then another coronagraph on another spacecraft, and then another program that records coronal mass ejections. And this image is what we just looked at, and this is with cactus. Now, excuse me, cactus is a little harder to work with because cactus is a computer program, and it is translating data. And sometimes the cactus can be really, really pixelized, a lot of interference, because it's not using extreme ultraviolet light to detect the coronal mass ejections. Excuse me. See, that's another thing that BP didn't tell you. He left out a whole bunch. So anyways, dealing with the cactus. So right over here, we can see that same image, but on this coronagraph program. Oh, I wanted to zoom in. Sorry. So we could zoom in. Damn it. And we could see the same object right there. And you could also see those little black spheres. They're a little distorted. So let's jump out of here. And I have some of these mixed up a little bit. Here's the negative. And this is what I found intriguing. One rule of thumb, always convert these images to a negative, because you may be able to see something that was masked in black. And when you flip it over to a negative, it's white, and now you can see some detail. So as we move in and we zoom in, that's what we got. Now, the dark area was once white, naturally. And again, you can see the large coronal mass ejection. You can see the object is slightly in front of that coronal mass ejection, because if you looked at the coronal mass ejection on the CME detector, that coronal mass ejection was just faded off a little bit on the sun's western limb. Okay, not directed towards Earth, but it was a pretty big blast. And there we could see once again that one object that I showed you guys in my video early this morning. The object is not completely round. Almost reminds me of a big, gigantic, tumbling asteroid. It almost reminded me of that big asteroid Bennu. It's got kind of that weird, blocky looking shape to it. Lord only knows what the hell it is. I'm not calling it a planet. I'm not calling it anything. I'm just showing you that the damn thing is there. And then right below, you have the primary, or the primary object would be right here. But you have this primary other sphere that is round, perfectly spherical, unlike this one here. Just dealing with, like, you know, astrophysics. Two objects, 1, 2, 1, 2, being in that close proximity to another very large planetary body and next to the sun, you can guarantee that these two smaller objects are stuck and caught in the gravity of this object right here. So they may be orbiting in some kind of weird pattern that I don't know about yet. They're definitely not orbiting only the sun. Their gravity belongs to this object right here. No doubt about it. That's just how it works. Just how it works. So we had that. And is this the close-up? Did we already look at that? Yeah, we already looked at that one. Now, these two monsters, this freaked me out. This is the photograph of what I was just talking about. The one object that kind of looks like that Bennu, that big gigantic asteroid Bennu. Now, you could actually go and Google Bennu, look at the, go to images and pull up one of the NASA satellite photographs, that probe that they sent out to Bennu, and check it out. So it kind of looks like this damn thing, but it's not. It's way, this object here is way too big. This object is probably 7, 8, 9 times the size of the Jupiter. It's huge, whatever the hell it is. So we're zoomed in on it. I mean, where the hell do you see fakery? I mean, what the hell are you saying? That's all you got? The images are doctored and fake? Get the hell out of here. Now, a second object was captured in this photograph. This object here, somebody asked me if it was a shadow. Well, shadows don't exist in space. That's impossible. A shadow could exist on a planet when the sun hits it and shows another object. Yeah, you could have a shadow. But you're not going to see a shadow in space. And that right there is clearly not a space ball. The reason why that object is fainter is because it is behind and further back. So if we zoom out to the original, this object seems to be much more closer towards the camera. This object seems to be possibly behind the sun and off in the distance, possibly millions of miles. If that's the case, and we could see this object that large, that's a little spooky. That's all I got to say about that. I'm not claiming to know what the hell it is. I'm just showing you. That's all. Here is a super close-up of whatever the hell that object is. Let me see if people are going crazy in the live chat there. So what do you think about that? You know, it's not highly pixelized, I mean, there you go, man. I mean, couldn't get a better shot unless you were like a passenger on the Parker space probe, for God's sakes. I mean, what do you got to say about that? That's all you can say is it's fake? Oh my God. You know, sometimes, folks, I think to myself, why the hell do I bother? Why do I have to put up with the complete nonsense? You know, like the new terminology they're using all over mainstream media is, you're getting canceled out. Yeah, listen, people have been trying to cancel me out since 2016. Get in line. Get in line. Planet X News ain't going nowhere. And this was from yesterday, right here, 7-Eleven, and pretty cool shot right here. We peeled this back, and this object, once again, it's not up close to the sun. It is further back. We're looking at a one-dimensional photograph here. But when you understand it, when you understand what you're looking at, this object is further back, away from the sun, but it's there and it's large. So we're zoomed in. Excuse me, my allergies are killing me. We're zoomed in here, so let's zoom even more. Now again, that one has a little bit of a weird shape, not exactly spherical. It looks a little bit like what I just showed you. Is it the same object? I don't know. But it's weird looking. It's nothing more than a BP space bubble. Let's zoom in even harder on that sucker. So it does have a weird shape, unless something down here is possibly, large plasma ejecti covering the bottom part. I don't know. A lot of interference. We removed as much interference as we possibly could in this photograph. It's pretty damn interesting. That's all I got to say. No doubt about it. We flipped it over to a negative. And again, that is to see if there's something masked that we missed. So you have to be thorough. And we're zoomed in there. Let's get the next frame and we'll zoom in even more. So, yeah. Let's jump to the next frame. Zoom all the way in. Oh, I don't know. Looks like a space bubble. Oh, shit. Folks, what gets me? Why people want to make such a big deal out of a YouTube channel and some photographs. You ever wonder why they pick and pick and pick at the evidence? You wonder why that there's no other YouTube channels on this planet that are showing you exact scientific evidence. They just make shit up. Why do you think that, these government systems, whether they're true government systems or, deep state or dark state, what do they know that we don't? So they don't want you to know that there are a multitude of other objects in our inner solar system. Why? Maybe it would cause panic. People call it wormwood. They call it Nibiru. They call it the destroyer. They call it all kind of names. Fact of the matter is, why in the hell have they been searching for it and the government spending millions and millions of dollars trying to find it as far back as the 1930s? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Just like UFO technology, the government has it, they deny it. They've denied UFOs since Roswell. But yet, they've invested taxpayer money to the tune of probably billions of dollars in investigating and uncovering UFOs. Boy, that doesn't sound like a good business move, does it? Investing billions of dollars in some kind of fantasy fake bullshit. Does it? Yeah. Alrighty then. Keep smoking whatever the hell you're smoking. Anyways, folks. I feel bad for BP. Ever since his channel got deleted and terminated, he hasn't been his regular self. And he keeps hanging around that criminal, Pastor Paul Begley. And that other goofball Mike from around the world. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they are the frauds. You ever think about that? Think about it. But anyways, folks, I'm tired. I've had a long, long week, and I've also had another long day. Those photos, those images of those two massive objects, I don't know, man. I didn't sleep too well last night. I kept thinking about this photograph right here. I just kept thinking about it. Just couldn't get my mind off of it. That, a discovery like this would put a man down in the history books for all eternity. But the big question is that what the powers that be want? But they definitely want control over you and me. Don't ever forget that. All crap aside, all differences between me and other channels, the fact of the matter is, we should actually all be banding together because the powers that be have already done that against us. So what they strive in is division amongst us. And it's working. Take a look at what's happening around the world, and especially here in this country. You are slowly witnessing the fall of America. And that's the name of that tune. Take care, folks. Hope you enjoy the evidence and the live stream. I'm tired. I got to be up at 4 a.m. tomorrow. If you guys want to unsubscribe from this YouTube channel, do so. If you think the evidence is fake, made up, doctored, photoshopped, so be it. You're all entitled to your own opinions. I am simply the messenger who is eager to understand what is happening in my own solar system. That's it. It is a huge interest of mine, and it will stay that way, whether some of you like it or not. Anyways, folks, good night. Stay safe. Share the video. And I don't know, maybe you might want to go over to BP's YouTube channel and comment under his video like they're all doing to me. Anyways, once again, folks, take care. Be safe.